Hi guys, my name is Eshaan Akhtar and I am the founder and chairman of AK Education Group. We started this YouTube channel to help hundreds of students with their exams, specifically GCSEs. Now, we are starting today's lecture by talking about cells. Cells is a very important topic of GCSE biology. It's one of the first topics you learn in year 9, year 10, depending on which school you go to. So we're going to get into today's lesson and hopefully take you through the different types of multicellular, unicellular organisms, take you through the subcellular structures, and also focus on the functions of each of the subcellular structures as well. So without further ado, let's get started, guys. So the outcome of today's lesson will be, like I said, to identify some structures which are in common and explain which organisms, that all organisms are either unicellular or multicellular. Okay? Now, I always begin the lessons by talking about the keywords. It's really important that students know what the keywords mean, and you could potentially get asked these in the exam where they say to you, define an organism, and this is your response: a living thing made up of one or more cells. They could say define a cell, the basic unit of all forms of life. They could ask you to define multicellular, an organism made of many cells. Define microorganism, an organism that can only be viewed through a microscope. Define unicellular, an organism that consists of a single cell. This is something which you could potentially get in the exam. So I will pause the video now, make notes on this, and put a big bubble and write inside the bubble memorize. Very crucial that you know these off by heart, okay? Now, what we're going to have a look at here is some examples of multicellular organisms. So you've got your plants, you've got your animals, plants, fungi, all examples of multicellular. And then over on this side you've got your protists, which of course some of these are unicellular. Now, that's the differentiation. Some organisms are either multicellular, some organisms are unicellular. Now the important thing to understand is, what do these words actually mean? And that's where we go through and break it down. So, multicellular. Multi refers to many, cellular refers to made of cells. Made up of many cells. That's what multicellular is. And then unicellular. Uni means one. Cellular made of cells, and then of course made up of one cell. So they can either be multicellular or unicellular. Make sure you're noting this down, guys. And then of course we talk about the arrangement within the organism. You start off over here. You start off over here with the cells. And then we work our way through, and tissues. Tissues are made up of many cells. Organs are made up of many tissues. Organ systems are made up of many organs. And then of course your organism is made up of several organ systems. Now, just to name a few organ systems, you've obviously got your endocrine system, cardiovascular system, the nervous system, musculoskeletal system, etc. Organs, of course, your liver, your pancreas, your stomach, etc., etc. And then you've got different types of tissues and different types of cells. All of which you should know this chain of events for the human body. Okay? Now, likewise, for example, you've got certain bacteria which are just made up of one cell. Here we've got E. coli bacteria, which of course is unicellular. And these are some more examples. If I just go back a slide, these are some more examples of animal, plants, fungi and protists which are unicellular. You've got your zooplankton, which are unicellular animals. You've got phytoplankton, which are unicellular plant-like organisms. And just here you've got your amoeba, which are unicellular protists. So some quizzes here. You could pause the video, have a go at these, but I'm just going to go through the responses. So what is the smallest unit of living organisms? Of course, from these four options, it'll be option C, cells. Pause the video and have a go, guys, at some of these questions. Which of the following are examples of multicellular organisms? Well, my head instantly goes towards human and rosebush. Let's see if we're correct. And we are. Fantastic. B and C, guys. If you got that, give yourself a pat on the back. And then a true and false. All organisms are made of from organ systems. Let's have a look. Is it true or false? False. Justify your answer. Is it A or B, guys? Let me know in the comment section, A or B. B. Okay, let's have a look. Only multicellular organisms are made from organ systems. Why? Because unicellular are made up of only one cell. Hence why organ systems are really complex things which require lots of cells. Therefore, it must be false, and that's our justification. Now, let's work through. This is a little task that I have got for you guys to identify the statements which are true or false. Cells work to carry out functions. Are we saying true or false? Let's check your answers, guys. You've got true. True. All unicellular organisms are bacteria. True or false, guys? True or false? False. Make sure you're going through these in the comment section with us, guys. All multicellular organisms are animals. False. Each tissue is made up of multiple cells. True. We went through that in the previous slide. Tissues are only found in animals. False. An organ is composed of several types of cells. True. So you can see, guys, some of these statements are just to get your mind thinking, for you to actually understand the content that we're learning. We'll go through now the actual subcellular structures. So, on the screen for you guys, we've got some images for you to have a look through the different 3D presentations of an animal cell, a plant cell, and a bacterium. Okay? Now, each cell has a different shape. Each cell has different subcellular structures depending on their function. Okay? That's a crucial fact to know. So, typically within your exam, they could ask you to draw an animal cell model in a 2D format. So that's how you would draw it. And then you've got your plant cell model here within 2D diagrams as well. So if I just go back to the previous slide, here we had a look at 3D representations, and on this slide we're having a look at 2D diagrams, okay? So let's have a look at the animal cell and the different structures between it. So, that's taken me one too many slides. So of course within your animal cell you've got different structures. The main ones that you're going to be familiar with are cell membrane, your nucleus, your cytoplasm, and your mitochondrion. Each of these you'll have some form of familiarity with. There's a little new one that's peeking over here, the ribosomes. Now the ribosomes are really crucial for protein synthesis. It's one that you need to know, and it's one that students forget. It's one that students overlook, and it doesn't really stay in your mind if you're not actively trying to learn it. So say it out loud with me: ribosomes, site of protein synthesis. Ribosomes, site of protein synthesis. Ribosomes, site of protein synthesis. You guys need to remember that, guys. Remember that, okay? Plant cell model, and you see there's a few different structures now. So, in the previous slide with the animal cell model, we didn't see the chloroplast. We didn't see the large permanent vacuole. We didn't see the cell wall. So what does that tell you about plant cells compared to animal cells? Well, there's some differences. And instantly your mind should be trying to think about what type of things they can ask you in the exam. So what you need to be thinking about is, well, they could potentially ask me to name these differences. And what would be my response? Well, you find a chloroplast within a plant cell, you find a vacuole within a plant cell, you find a cell wall within a plant cell, but you don't find these within an animal cell. Write that down, guys, write it down. You don't find these within an animal cell. That's your differentiation right there. That's an exam question. Potentially 3 marks, guys. 3 marks we're talking about here. So, look at the similarities. Let's look at the similarities. Your nucleus, similar. Your cytoplasm, similar. Ribosomes, similar. Cell membranes, similar. Mitochondria, similar. And then you've got the 3 add-ons. Chloroplast, permanent vacuole, cell wall. Make sure you've got this written down. This is a crucial exam paper question to highlight the differences between the animal and plant cell. Make sure you've got that written down, guys. Now, I'm going to skip some of these questions purely because I want to focus on actually looking at going into the functions of each of these. I think you understand what subcellular structures are within them. And what you can do, guys, feel free to pause the video and you can label each of the models. But for the purpose of this video, I would like to get into the functions of the cells. So each of these subcellular structures has a specific function. They do something which helps positively contribute to how the cell performs within the human body. Now that's really important for you guys to know about GCSE biology. It's something which, for the exam, you're going to have to memorize the function of each and every subcellular structure. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. So if you're watching this video and thinking that I'm bluffing or anything of that sort, you're in for a surprise on exam day. Make sure you memorize the functions we're about to go through. They're really important. So, the cell membrane. What's the function of a cell membrane? This is your exam answer, people. If you're watching this, watch it and learn, because this is your exam response. The cell membrane is a partially permeable membrane, which means it allows some substances to diffuse through, but not others, helping to regulate the cell's internal environment. That is the function of a cell membrane. It's controlling what's going in and out. It's allowing some things to go in, some not to. Right? It's part of the protective system, making sure that the cell is well protected by controlling what's exiting and entering. Okay? Let's have a look at the nucleus. So, the nucleus here is it's like the head of the house, really. That's the best way to put it for me. It controls the genetic information. It controls the activity. It contains genetic information, pardon me. It contains genetic information, but controls the activity of the cell. That's something that's really important. And it's probably one of the easiest ones to remember. I think even somebody in year 6 will be able to tell me what a nucleus is. And trust me, year 6 students, they don't care about their GCSEs. They're out playing cricket in the street or football in the park. They're not bothered about the GCSEs, and if they can get this right, then you watching year 11, year 10, year 9 students, you've got no excuse not to know this one. Okay, this is like the easiest one of the lot. So, cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, this one is a cheeky one. Why is it cheeky? Because it's a jelly-like substance that contains dissolved nutritional salts. Okay, here we go, guys. Chemical reactions essential to life take place within the cytoplasm. Really important. Really important. The reason why I say it's really important is because some students will tend to forget about this. They'll tend to forget about this. They tend to remember this one. They tend to remember the cytochemical reactions. They tend to forget this one up here. So make sure you remember that one. And then, of course, you've got your ribosomes. And here we are. Protein synthesis. And then, now this one comes up in every exam paper I've seen. What is the function of a mitochondria? And I have to stress this word here, aerobic respiration. It's important that you learn aerobic respiration. You need to know that the mitochondria is the site of aerobic respiration. Okay? So if you're watching this video, you need to, if you take away one thing, is don't forget what a nucleus does, don't forget what a mitochondria does, okay? These are both really important things, okay? Now, then you've got the function of the subcellular structures for plant cell. Your cell wall, it contains a substance called cellulose, which provides strength and support to the cell. This is like your bodyguard outside fancy restaurants, okay? Just make sure that they've got the strength, they've got the manpower, and they've supported as well, okay? That's the cell wall. Then you've got chloroplast, the cytophotosynthesis. Now, the cytophotosynthesis is really important. We're going to go through photosynthesis as a chapter in biology. We're going to try to cover it in its entirety. I want you to remember one thing for me though. This term here, this pigment here, chlorophyll. Okay? This green pigment called chlorophyll. That's going to be really important when we discuss photosynthesis. So I want you to remember that and make sure that you put a big circle around the word chlorophyll. And then you've got your large permanent vacuole, which contains sap to keep the cell turgid. Okay. What is the function of a nucleus? It contains DNA which controls the cell activities. Okay. All this is straightforward. What are the proteins made in a cell? Where are proteins? Where are proteins made in a cell? What we thinking, guys? I couldn't have stressed this enough. Ribosomes. Fantastic. Where does aerobic respiration occur? Mitochondria. Right. You can complete these tables, guys. You can take a screenshot of these. What I'll do is I'll move out of the way so you can take a screenshot of them or pause the video and you can have a go at these. If you would like to, you can have a go at these. And likewise again, guys, I'll move out of the way so you can take a screenshot. Take a screenshot, guys. You can complete this task. Right. And then we've got another one. Take a screenshot, guys. Take a screenshot. I want you to cover these. You can email them. The email will be in the description of the admin team. We'll mark this for you as well and we'll go through your responses. There we go, guys. And that's task C. Okay, you can take another screenshot of this task. Take a screenshot, guys. You can complete these activities. You can complete these activities, guys. Here's the answers for you to have a look. Right. Now we come to the summary. So, what have we achieved in this lesson? What have we been able to do? In under 20 minutes, we've covered all of this information, key information. We've gone through defining multicellular and unicellular organisms. We've gone through the different types of subcellular structures. We've gone through the function of different subcellular structures. This is the proven systems of AK Education Group that we're teaching you here today. We taught you the content. We're teaching you where the exam technique is needed, where you will need to learn things that could come up for exam application. And this is the important thing, guys. This is the important thing that students miss out on, is they learn things, but they don't learn it in accordance to the exam. When you're revising, your thought process should be, could this be an exam question? Let me try to revise by actually making this an exam question. So rather than saying in your revision notes, the three subcellular structures which are not in an animal cell or in a plant cell is your vacuole, your cell wall and your chloroplast. I would say in my revision notes, what are the three different subcellular structures in a plant cell which are not in an animal cell? And my response would be 3 bullet points: chloroplast, cell wall, large permanent vacuole. This is the type of thing that if you begin to execute these types of tasks, these types of revision techniques, you will succeed in actually revising and also achieving the top grades. Don't write notes in plain sentences and just copy out notes. Turn them into questions so you can quiz yourself. It's active recall. You're learning on the job, as they say. So this is really important. If you're spending time and you're learning whilst you're making notes, that's amazing. You don't have to go back every single day to try to review those notes, because every couple of days you just quiz yourself, because that's the format of your revision notes. I'm not going to drag this video on too long because I understand that we've gone through a really big topic and you want to have a break. So guys, we will see you in the next episode. Welcome to the AK Education Group channel, where we're going to cover more topics like this and across a different range of subjects. If you enjoyed the episode today, leave a like, subscribe, share, and also if you would like to join our tuition classes, we offer GCSE tuition for maths, English and science, where we include biology, chemistry and physics. You get 4 hours of teaching, all for £45 per week. So that is 4 hours of teaching for £45 per week, part of our ultimate GCSE bundle deal. If you're interested in booking a trial lesson, get in touch with the admin team on 07918 273 550 and we will send you all the details through WhatsApp. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I'll see you on the next one.